Well, you know, it's the time of year, near Christmas time, when you see some really nice things in the shops. Unusual things that you normally don't see at the other times of the year. And I like this. It's like a hot rod, M&M style. And I think it's like a 1930s Ford, but please don't pin me on that because I know nothing about Americana and cars. This has actually been up in the house and my boy's been playing with it, so it survived a bit of play. And it looks nice no matter where you look at this thing. And we can go up and look at the M&Ms. They look happy as well. And where you load in your M&Ms is up the back here. And they go, whoa. I'd say you get a lot more M&Ms in there. I've only put in a tiny portion. And the way this works, you give the red dude the thumb. And out the back pops the sweet, sweet M&Ms. It's the sort of thing that'll appeal to adults and children. And you know what? I've got a fair bit of M&M merchandise around. And I like it as well. When I was growing up, M&Ms weren't around. It didn't come in until a bit later on. We had Smarties. And there'd be a great divide of the people who know both these products. Which one do you prefer? Yes, boys and girls, it rolls. Ah, yes, it's the time of year when you see a lot of novelty chocolate, candy, sweets, whatever you want to call it, about. And what is very unusual about this lot here, it's Australian currency. But not only is it the coins, it's also the notes as well. I've never ever seen that before. And I got it at Coles. I don't know. I'm not doing anything for Coles here, but that's where I found it. And I tell you what, this stuff was selling like hotcakes. Oh, I can't wait to get into this. Probably hop off down to the casino tonight and pass this off as real money. It looks so good. This is sort of curious. It's got some of the current currency. There's a much larger version of a dollar coin, but it's also got the old pennies. This was the old pre-decimal currency. Very unusual. It's an interesting mix. Plus, it's got what I call the plastic money that we have today. We've got plastic currency in Australia. Well, now we've got chocolate currency. A bit curious to see if there's any pattern on this chocolate, or is it just a blank billet. I'm just going to get this other side off. Whoa. It looks like it's just blank. There's no detailing on the chocolate, which is a little bit sad. Maybe he's hoping there'd be an imprint of something there. Well, the old Leo would have heard into this bit of chocolate and told you what it was like, but you're dealing with the new Leo now, and in a little while you'll understand what the new Leo is all about. A bit curious to see if these massive $1 chocolate coins have any printing on them. Is that printed or... Yeah, it looks like it is. I can see it's very faint. I can see... Yes, okay, yep. It's moulded. So they've got moulding on them, but the notes don't. So one of those bags of loot, it looks like I've got 4 massive $1. I've got these pennies, there's 5 of those pennies. There's some 10 cents there, it looks like 3. I've got a $5 note, a $20 note, a $50 note, and a $100 note. Oh, I found this stuff in Aldi. There's some Skylanders stuff, Barbie stuff, and Angry Birds stuff. And what's in here is it's called a Squish Ball and milk chocolate balls with popping candy. I'm not opening these because it's a bit of a special surprise for someone. That's what the candy inside looks like. I suppose we all know what popping candy's like. Yum. And here's a ball out of one I gave my son. You can see it's a squishy ball. The famous red bird is on the front. If we look around the back, we see an assortment of birds. It's quite nice artwork. And what is very important with this is, if I spin around the right way, it's a licensed product made in China. And sure, that ball there is a licensed product, but do you remember when I showed this in a video as one of the Angry Bird Dark Side videos? And it's a non-licensed product which I could not destroy. In fact, it still works today. I did everything I could to destroy this toy, but it would not break. The rotor blades are a bit banged up now, but it still functions. Well, guess what? I actually found, and let me slide it in, I found a licensed version of the Angry Birds helicopter. And down there is what I want to read to work out that it is licensed to Angry Birds. Well, these two birds, they look around the same size. The rotor blades on the real McCoy one is larger. I know this is indestructible, but I'm wondering whether that one there is also indestructible. When I look at the back of the box, I see it says I love red, but this little Angry Bird helicopter doesn't look as elaborate as my knockoff one. But there's one very curious fact: that fellow there was double the price than that one there. To have these two guys fight it out would make a very interesting Angry Bird showdown. It's funny, I'm so used to seeing so much Angry Bird merchandise around, but what I'm noticing is these guys appearing on the scene. Skylanders, this is a candy, lolly, sweet thing, Skylanders thing. In fact, let's crack it open. And I sent this to Kikoe5. I don't know if I said that right. Let me crack this open. I might have to turn the camera off if it takes me forever to open it. I know nothing about Skylanders. I'm not even going to try and explain what this thing is. How to open it? Oh, I've got there what's inside. There's some candy little doodahs. There's whatever that is. You guys can tell me. If I got it upside down, I can't even tell what I'm looking at there. It looks like a tree. Or looks like Bullwinkle out of Rocky and Bullwinkle at first glance. What is that thing? I've got no idea. It's got that there. I'm totally lost here. I haven't looked at any of this. Oh, it's a tree Rex. That's telling me what that is. Just answered my own question then. Looks like something out of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Anyway, that's that. I'll be quite honest here, I'm not a fan of advent calendars. I really feel like often they are very cheap and nasty. These were very inexpensive. And I suppose you're just paying for the brand thing. But if I open up the Thomas one, I'm only going to open up one of these. I'll get to the point of what I don't like about them. Well, here we go, on a bit of a rip, tear and bust. There's a bit of a thing to do, activity on the back here. Boys and girls, don't rip open your advent calendars like you're about to see here, because it just spoils the whole fun of advent calendars. But let's take a look at the chocolates that you get inside this Thomas and Friends one. I have to rip off this other side as well. Sorry, Thomas. Got to go. I'm looking at the back of the box here, and it says carefully made in the UK for Kinnerton. And there's the hit licensing info there. And sure, that's fine and dandy. But the problem is when you look at the chocolate. Okay, we're looking at what would be the front face of the advent calendar. You open up little doors to reveal your chocolate surprise. What's very sad is quite often you find these ones and they've been heat affected. Now this would have travelled from the UK to Australia across the equator. And sadly some of the stock looks like it's damaged. And it has been inspecting, well, for best before, it's the end of pack. The end of pack is right here, best before. December 14. But of what? December 14 of when? And I suppose that's some sort of code for when this was made, or factory time or something. December 14, but when? Maybe that's December 2014. And the other thing I don't like about these calendars is that when you look at what's that, as Christmas stocking, I think it's Christmas stocking, it's heat affected chocolate, I know that. But they're not of the theme of the advent calendar. They're just generic Christmas themes. And I suppose some people say, oh yeah, you're whinging, blah blah blah. Get real, what's that, a candy thing, isn't it? A candy cane. But you know what, I know that there are Thomas and Friends chocolates about, and I'm going to show you them next. Well, look what Santa just found. Some Thomas and Friends chocolates. Let's have an investigation. Well, peep peep, this is very exciting. It's the same company that made that advent calendar. It says best before June 14. I suppose that's June 2014. And there's a whole lot of blah blah there. I'm not going to get into that on the back here. Interesting, telling kids to brush their teeth and go and play active sports and put stuff in the rubbish bin. It's telling me this is a product made in the UK. I can see Hit Entertainment's licensing info there. Let's open this up and see what we've got. My son's already got into some of these in the house because he got very excited when these appeared, as any young boy would. And hey, I got excited as well. Ooh, look at that. Well, some of the characters need turning around. I can quickly do that. Tidy this up so I can have a better look. Well, on close inspection here, I've got a lot of white chocolate Thomases. I've got a milk chocolate one there. There's a lot of milk chocolate fat controllers. And what's interesting, there's one Toby here, all by himself. I hope that's Toby, or I'm making a total fool of myself. And there's a bit of a close-up of the milk chocolate Thomas. Here in Australia, this little tray of chocolates was only $2 a hit. It was actually, I found them at Coles, which is quite unusual. Maybe it isn't. But I actually quite like that, and I just really wish they did an advent calendar which had little characters, because that'd be a much, much better thing to have. I know this isn't chocolate or candy or whatever, but I'm also seeing these little Lightning McQueen Christmas decorations. These are licensed, and I've got to say I'm amassing a massive Lightning McQueen collection. By my charity down the road who collects the Thomases for me. We've moved gear a bit to some Lightning McQueens, and hopefully I'll have those videos up next year on my channel if I'm still here. Oh, I'm also seeing this Kinder Santa, and it's got a surprise inside. It's $6. You can buy that Santa there. I think it's got one surprise inside, or you can go and buy 3 eggs for about the same money, and you would get 3 surprises. What would you prefer, the eggs or the Santa? Eggs or the Santa? Let me know. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Santa, you're about to get the chop. Yeah, that's why I open these guys. And you can see in there the surprise. Let's get this foil off. Oh, quite nice detailed Santa there. Sorry, Santa, I just took your head straight off. And down the seam. I couldn't understand the code. There's secret codes on the outside of these, and I could normally tell you what the surprise is inside. I don't think any person seems to know how to do that. Inside here is a surprise. Let's see what it is. I've got no idea what that is until I make it up. It's got this mysterious piece of string in here. Out it all comes. Come on, little surprise. I wonder if these are available in the USA, considering they're not an egg. It's a Santa with surprise. I wonder if there's a loophole in the law there. Well, there's the instructions there. And that's the series of toys. Looks sort of dandy to me. Wow, is this going to be like the Rocky and Bullwinkle episode for Leo Kim Video? Well, there's a surprise. It looks like a bullwinkle carrying a bowl with a fish. How crazy is that? And that piece of string would have come in between the antlers there, and you could tie it on the Christmas tree, but I like it just the way it is. And while we're thinking of Kinder and Christmas, there's also these little guys that just hang on the tree. They're foil, and there's chocolate inside. There's no surprise in these. They sell for about $2 in Australia, and that's about the same price, or roughly the same price as an egg. So it's your choice. Would you prefer an egg with a surprise inside, or would you prefer 3 chocolate Santas? Interesting choice there. You know, I'd actually be going for the surprise egg. I used to be a keen collector of that stuff, but that's probably the old Leo thinking about that. I don't eat the chocolate. Never ate the chocolate from this stuff. I shouldn't say it. I didn't like the chocolate out of these. Just too sweet for me. But anyway, I see those in Australia. I don't know, do you see those in the United States? I'm a bit curious whether they are in the US. Oh, and the other thing is, I think I've done a separate video about these, is these giant Pez. These are fantastic. I love these. I'm a bit of a Pez collector. And inside these, you get there's a whole candy thing in there. Not just a single Pez comes out, but the whole candy does. It'll stack in 10 in there. These are great. It's exactly the same as the little mini SpongeBob one. You know, basically sponge divot for sponge divot. It's identical. And I just love this. In the video I made about these, I just said I want a Thomas the Tank, maxi, extra large Pez. That'd be my dream. Keep a very keen eye out for these. They're a little bit hard to find. I've got some connections in the lolly industry in Australia, and it was quite some months back they said, hey Leo, you'd like this, and they were absolutely correct. I loved it. Ooh, I look at the fans list a lot these days, and someone who's really climbed the ranks of late is a person called Brady Zimmerman. I've got a little present for you, or a number of presents actually. The first one is the beautiful Kinder surprise Santa. I'm not sure whether they are available where you live. I think with a name like Zimmerman, I'm thinking that's a USA name. I've got ants all over my table because I smashed up eggs here the other day and the chocolate is still here. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to give you a new one of those. It's the Advent Calendar, the Thomas one from the UK. Angry Birds one and the Hot Wheels one. Would you like some more stuff? I'm sure you would. I'm also going to throw in... Did you like those? Looking at those? Well, I'm going to send you 1. I'm going to send you 2. I'm going to send you 3. And I'm going to send you 4 of those because it's nice to share. I'm sure you've got friends who'll like to get into those and have a look. Would you like a little bit more, Brady? How about this? Maybe you can open it up and tell us more about it. And let's add in this one here, Angry Birds 1 and the Skylanders 1. Would you like some more? Let's keep going, eh? Feeling crazy. How could we do one of these without that? The stretching catapult chicken, famous on my channel, and now you've got one. Let's keep going. Let's keep adding to this. Do you remember those in this video? Would you like a set of them? They're yours. Let's keep going. I'm not sure where you live they have Smarties. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You can have the Smarties, and because I'm not being cheap, you can have the M&Ms as well. Should show the packaging there. Hey, let's keep adding to this booty of goodness. 3 surprise eggs. That's Kinder surprise eggs. Who knows what's inside there? I just hope you haven't got one of those silly little jigsaws they do now. But let's get better. Did you like the bags of money that I showed. I did. I like that a lot. You're going to get 1 bag, 2 bags. Oh, let's be generous. 3 bags. And let's finish off with something rather grand. It's a Thomas and Friends My Busy book. This is great. These were in Australia a couple months back. All the ones I saw in the shop, I bought every one. I'm not going to tell you how many I bought. But best of all, and I have had this set in bits and pieces, you get a lovely playmat, and you get all these characters, and the characters are really, really well detailed. It's a really nice character set in there. It's a fantastic thing. And Brady Zimmerman, my friend, thank you very much for being a top fan and rising the ranks. All that is yours. Oh, I think this will be the thumbnail picture. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and bye for now.